Hi friends, I'm Carrie Ann with Salty Invite and welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. Today's verse is from Proverbs chapter 4 verse 7, which reads, "Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom. And with all thy getting, get understanding." So this verse is letting us know that wisdom is the top thing, the vital thing, the most important thing. When something is principal, it is desired above anything else. Is number one. So it is here we see where we're encouraged, because it is the most important thing, or because it is the principal thing, that we should get wisdom. And then while we're getting wisdom, then we should get understanding. Understanding helps us to use the information that we have gathered during getting wisdom to know how to move. So the understanding includes discernment, comprehension, and interpretation. We learned about King Solomon and how he got wisdom from God in 1 Kings chapter 3, starting in verse 5. In Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night. And God said, "Ask what I shall give thee." And Solomon said, "Thou hast showed thy servant David, my father, great mercy, according as he walked before thee in truth and in righteousness and in uprightness of heart with thee, and thou hast kept for him his great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on the throne, as it is this day. And now, O Lord my God, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father, and I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people?" And the speech pleased the Lord, that Solomon had asked for this thing. And God said unto him, "Because thou hast asked for this thing, and hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked for the life of thine enemies, but hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgments, behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there it was none like unto thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, both riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. And if thou wilt walk in my ways, and keep my statutes and my commandments, as thy father David did walk, then I will also lengthen thy days." And Solomon awoke, and behold, it was a dream. King Solomon wrote most of the book of Proverbs, and God had asked him at one point what he wanted. His father David was king, and after King David passed, then Solomon became king. And Solomon was overwhelmed with the thought of having to judge and rule God's people. So in a dream, God visited Solomon and asked him, "Hey, what do you want?" And Solomon's response was, "I want wisdom. I want to be able to understand how to judge your people. There's so many of them, and I want to do the right thing." God was so pleased with Solomon's response. God realized that Solomon could have asked for a long life, he could have asked for riches, he could have asked for the lives of his enemies, but instead, he wanted to understand how to rule the people. Then we see later in verse 29 of chapter 4, "And God gave Solomon wisdom and understanding, exceeding much, and largeness of heart, even as the sand that is on the seashore." And what we find is that whilst King Solomon was in power, the nation of Israel was at peace. So they were able to have peace on every side, and Solomon ruled in wisdom. Because God wants us to deal with each other with an understanding heart. So when we're listening to each other, we're not listening to have a witty comeback. We're not listening so that we can debate the argument. We're listening so that we can have an understanding of the person. What are they trying to say? What are they really telling us? Can we pinpoint what is causing them to communicate exactly what they're communicating? Are we discerning exactly what they're asking us to do or what they need from us? Are we in a place where we can listen with understanding? When I think of wisdom and understanding, I think of this movie called Little Boy. And in this story, it was set in World War II era. And what happened is, Little Boy, he was about 10 years old, and his dad went off to war. And he wanted his dad back. And so he had received a list of things to do to build his faith enough for his dad to return home. And one of the things was to be kind to his enemy. And there was a Japanese gentleman that lived in the area, and Little Boy decided that he would befriend him. It was rocky at the beginning, but the more Little Boy hung out with him, the more he realized that they had a lot in common, and that this Japanese gentleman actually became a very good friend of his. And I believe that came in part of understanding and gaining wisdom that he was a human too, with feelings and with a family, and had concerns just like Little Boy did. And so they were able to stand together on the things that they had in common and become friends. So in this Wisdom Wednesday, I encourage you to get wisdom, and in all thy getting, get understanding. Thanks, friends.